日本時間26日、ドジャースの山本由伸投手が敵地で行われたロッキーズ戦に先発登板しました。試合は6回表に降雨のため中断され、山本投手はわずか56球で降板となりましたが、5回を投げて1安打無失点、6奪三振1四球の快投を見せました。初回はわずか10球で三者凡退に抑えると、2回以降もテンポよくアウトを積み重ね、スコアボードに0を並べました。5回には先頭打者にこの試合初めての四球を与えましたが、続く打者をピッチャーゴロゲッツーに打ち取り、わずか3人でイニングを締めました。5回終了時点での球数は56球、被安打1、無失点という内容で、メジャー初完封も狙えるペースでした。しかし、ドジャースの攻撃中だった6回表に雨による中断が発生し、試合は1時間28分後に再開されました。再開後、山本投手はマウンドに戻らず、2番手のトリビーノ投手が後を引き継ぎました。山本投手の回答に対し、現地の実況、解説陣も称賛を送りました。特に制球力と多彩な球種の使い分けが高く評価され、
この男が使わない球種がないと言っていいでしょう。ロッキーズの打者はどの球にも的を絞れていません。
と興奮気味に語っていました。山本の投球を絶賛する現地実況の様子を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Yoshinobu Yamamoto makes his final start of June tonight in Colorado. He's been feeling his first June gloom, if you will, as a resident Californian. His first 11 starts this year had 6 wins, cruised to a 1.97 ERA. The WHIP was under 1, but in the 4 starts this month, Yamamoto's 0-3, the ERA 5.23, the WHIP is 1.65. And look at the opponent's batting average. It's increased more than 120 points, while his strikeout to walk ratio has almost doubled in June. Now, last night, Dave Roberts said he wants Yoshi to get back to being Yoshi. Jerry, why do you think he has been a little bit off this month?
Well, I think he's been trying to be too fine around the plate, trying to hit corners, and then he falls behind, and when he falls behind, he's got to give in, and before you know it, big league hitters are spurring him up. He's got to get back to strike one, getting ahead of the count, using his breaking the ball more, maybe not more tonight in Colorado, but as the season goes on, use all his pitches, but pitch right there, getting behind the count, has to come in and give in. Big league hitters can hit 2-1, 3-1, 2-0. Got to work ahead.
Well, given up 9 home runs, 4 of them have come in this month. So he's obviously given up a long ball. It's not necessarily walking a whole lot, but I think Jerry touched on it. We've also heard Dave Robertson, I think he's trying to be too edgy, which, trying to catch the corner so much, trying to really be on the edge. And then next thing you know, now you're going deep in the counts. That's one thing. Yeah, may not be walking a lot, but he's had a lot of 3-2 counts on a lot of hitters as well. So he's getting deeper in the count, not being as efficient, rather than really focusing more on just strike one. I think the first pitch strike percentage is critical. I think that has gone down as well over the course of this month as what we've seen earlier. When he does that, then it allows him to be more efficient. Then it allows him to maybe be more edgy when you're ahead of the count and trying to do that rather than trying to do that so early. Trust that his stuff plays at this, even if it catches more of the plate, not necessarily right on the corner, but just a hair on the plate is going to be okay because he has that movement.
Hi, John. Yeah, so for Yoshinobu, he's coming off of back-to-back losses for the first time in his career. So when you look at this month of June, things haven't necessarily been ideal for him. So I'm sure he's ready to turn the page to July, but he does want to end it on a high note. Today, Dave Roberts, he was talking about Yoshinobu and just what's been missing from him. And of course, as you all mentioned, just how he's seeing that he's being a little bit too fine as of late.
Obviously, I have high expectations for Yoshinobu. And I think for me, as a guy who sees him as a command guy, being too fine. And I think we've talked about that quite a bit, starting count 1-0 versus getting ahead 0-1. And so this is, this is a team that's going to swing the bats. It's a ballpark that you can't give up free passes, free bases, get behind in counts. And so I think for me, if he's getting strike one, it's going to be a really good night and efficient night.
When you talk about being too fine, is there something that you're looking outside of getting strike one, of course, but just that you're seeing from him that's showing that he's trying to be too fine and just how he's executing his pitches?
I just think that it's just the consistency of being a few inches off that first pitch. And so it's not a mechanical, I would almost argue it's more of a mindset.
It comes more from just like trying to want to like paint the corner like on every pitch he throws more than like not maybe trusting his stuff in the zone enough. Just kind of feeling like I can hit these spots exactly how I want to and just missing a little too much doing that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it is, because he is such a command guy. So I think at times you want to be perfect. And I just feel that he has more margin than he thinks he does. And not to say that he's given hitters credit, but I think the bottom line is that we got to get ahead.
We just heard Kirsten talking about the run support. It would be nice to see the Dodgers get some early runs in this game, because Yoshinobu Yamamoto is averaging just 2.34 runs of support per game, third lowest among starting pitchers, Nomar, who've made at least 10 starts. My question is, can that affect maybe his psyche a little bit when he's out there on the mound, where he feels like maybe he has to be too perfect, like Dave Roberts was saying?
Well, yeah, when you're going along inning after inning and it's still 0-0. Or it's within a one-run game, you're feeling like, man, now I don't have any margin for error. And so, yeah, you start being a little bit too fine. Yeah, you start trying to have to make that perfect pitch every single pitch, rather than, okay, I have a 2-3-1 lead, you know, nobody's on base. You know, if I happen to give up a home run here, it's a solo shot, but I can't walk them, and I got to get ahead. It's a little different. Like, I'm going to get ahead, and if they hit it, so be it, but it's okay. But I'm going to try to get strike one, and you're now focused more on the center part of the plate rather than going, okay, listen, it's 0-0. I can't let them get the lead right now. It's a tight ball game. It's up to me to hold them close. I got to try to catch the corner. I got to come from the outside in trying to catch the corner rather than going more inside out to catch the corner and trusting if it gets a little bit too much of the plate, you're still going to be fine.
The first pitch from Yoshinobu Yamamoto is ball one outside. Throwing first pitch strike has been tough for Yamamoto. His numbers on the year, the first 15 starts, ERA at 2.76 as we get going here tonight. There's a strike on the inside corner. It's hard to believe the Dodgers have lost all 4 of Yamamoto's starts in the month of June. I mean, compare that to his first 11 starts of the season. They won 8 times. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. This is the pitch arsenal for the Dodgers starter.
Four-seamer sets up everything. If he's able to locate that, work ahead, then that splitter will follow. Curveball, throws the cutter as well. We just saw that. But again, everything revolves around that fastball. How that is used efficiently, where it's located in the zone, determine how everything else works.
Popped him up. Goodman into shallow center for Pages. Out number 2 on 1 pitch. Yoshinobu Yamamoto last start became the fastest Japanese-born player to reach 200 career strikeouts. Well, if he and the Dodger bullpen can just get 7, he framed up that curveball to even the count 1-1. The pitch, swing and a miss. A good splitter with some teeth on it. We've seen fewer splits the last couple of turns for Yamamoto. Where does he go for the 2-2? Goes to the curve and gets a swing and a miss for strike 3. A 10-pitch scoreless first for Yamamoto. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Another K on a curve from Yamamoto.
Yamamoto so far early on has been as diverse as I've seen him as far as usage of pitches. Not just a 2-pitch guy, a couple pitches with the curveball, a couple of the splitters, a couple, fastballs. He's been about 25 to 30% in all these pitches, and so far Rocky hitters unable to just sit on any one pitch.
Now Michael Toglia. The Rockies demoted him. They sent him down to AAA at the end of May. He was there for a couple of weeks at that time, and he had a major league high 81 strikeouts. Just couldn't get it going with the bat. Since he's been recalled, though, different story. Batting average above 300. But Yamamoto sits him down on 3 pitches, bookending K's in a 10-pitch second. Just donut so far.
I mentioned last inning about the diversity coming into this inning when you're talking about the pitches that Yamamoto's using. Coming into this inning, 5 splitters, 5 curveballs, 5 four-seamers, 3 cutters. And again, usually a pitcher too, there's a feel. Very rarely does everything work and does everything feel good. But that seems to be the case early on with Yamamoto. There isn't a pitch he won't use.
Yes, he did. That's strike 3.
That's that splitter right there. Again, it's going to be difficult if he continues with this, because he's dropping the curveball, he's dropping the splitter. Fastball is really just to set up pitches, but to put away, he's going any off speed. So for the first 3 innings, been real effective. Yamamoto has been getting his outs low in the zone. Yes, few cutters up, but you look at where a majority of the outs have been recorded, he's down. He's below the strike zone. And so far, it's been very effective. Good location there by Yamamoto. And the first at bat, when he got ahead of Jordan Beck, was able to put him away with the curveball. See if he does the same thing.
To the high heater.
Talk about the first at bat. He tries to dot that fastball away. You see the curveball down in the zone, stays down in the zone. Never really even gets up above the knees and gets Beck to go after it.
Doesn't go after that splitter downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3, swinging. Did it with the split.
Did it with the curveball his first at bat, the splitter there, but the commonality between the 2 pitches, both down below the knees. Yamamoto has done an exceptional job of keeping the ball down in the zone.
Another whiff from Ryan McMahon. So you look at the last start for Yoshinobu against the Padres, 6 1/3 innings, but just 6 whiffs on 50 swings. It was his lowest whiff rate in any start in his career. He's already surpassed that number of whiffs tonight. 6 all last start, 7 already through 3 2/3. Bouncer to the right side. Yamamoto off the mound. He will cover the bag. 11 pitches. Another efficient frame for the Dodgers righty. Across the midway point of game 2. It's 3 games set against the Rockies. No score for either side. And once again, we are showing this graphic. Lack of run support for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It is absolutely wild. Just 2 total runs of support all month. Kirsten Watson, what can you tell us about the run support problem?
Yeah, Steven, so this has been a big question for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, especially in his post-game scrums. And of course, everyone's asking, is it frustrating from his viewpoint? And he said, it is what it is. It's a part of baseball. He understands that, of course, he goes out there to do his job every time he's on the mound, and he understands that the offense is going out there to do their jobs as well. So he's not looking too much into it, but of course, from everyone else on the outside looking in, can recognize it can be a little bit frustrating, but for Yoshi, he does not want to look into it in that sense.
He has not shown that frustration to the media or to his teammates.
Well, you know what? You just can't. And the reason you can't, and look at this level, you're not going to say anything, but look at when the offense scores runs and the pitcher, gives up more runs, they don't go to the pitcher and say, hey, come on, dude, we scored a bunch of runs. And, it's just the ebb and flow of baseball. And you can look over the course of a season, and some guys get crazy run support, others don't get any. You try to explain it.
Can't. 3-2. Curve a little low, and Rushing frustrated with how he received that. It's a leadoff walk to Estrada.
See that pitch well below the zone, but never as a catcher do you want to be moving the glove down towards the ground when you're trying to steal a strike. Always start low and move it up.
Was it last inning you brought up the fact that Yamamoto didn't have a walk? Or was it oral again?
I don't think I was specifically talking about. Yeah, I was just referencing both pitchers.
Yeah,
it's been throwing well.
Both of them have been terrific so far. Strider on for Tolia. A little ground ball back to Yamamoto. Calm throw to Betts for one, and there's the turn for two.
Seeing if he wouldn't have been able to have a guy on first, couldn't have turned two. It's all part of a plan.
It was a long con from Karros. Got it.
Yamamoto coming into this inning through 4 innings, had thrown only 44 pitches. It's the fewest 4-inning stretch as far as pitches allowed that he's had in his career. And he's been so pitch efficient and keeping the pitch count down because he's only walked 1 hitter.
His 0-2 pitch, Simoniak. Caught on and missed, strike 3. Punch out number 6 to get through the 5th for Yamamoto.
Dave said that when you look at the rest of the starts during this month, he felt like you were just pitching too fine, trying to be perfect. Were you feeling that, and how did you get back to your true self on the mound?
Even today?
Yes.
Before today. Okay. Okay. 以前監督がちょっと山本さん慎重になりすぎ、丁寧になりすぎているところがあるんじゃないかっていうところがおっしゃってたんですけども、今日の登板にあたってちょっとその辺をどういうふうに調整されましたか。
先週から、すごくいい感覚が増えてましたし、しっかりストライク先行だったり、そういったピッチングの、基本的となる、部分を大切に、落ち着いて投げられたかなと思います。
I was feeling pretty good. Started feeling good last week and going into today's game. And then today, I was attacking with a first pitch strike, pretty good. And then I think that was it today.
Was throwing so many curveballs and splitters just a byproduct of what was working, or is that something just with this ballpark that you could kind of keep me in mind?
今日、was a split and
Splitters and curveballs.
スプリットとカーブに関して今日すごい良かったんですけども、それはその球場の標高とかっていうところが影響してたのか、それとも自分である程度コントロールしてできてたことでしょうか。どっちでしょうか。
試合前のブルペンだったりでも、ボールの動きを確認しながら、準備したんですけど、意識としては特に、この球場だから、狙うところを少し変えるとか、そういったことは、全くせず、とにかくいつも通り、投げようと、思ってマウンドに上がりました。
Pre-game bullpen, I was kind of just checking the feeling on my older pitches, and then it was not about adjustment because of this ballpark.
And it was a great way for Yoshinobu Yamamoto to end what was a very difficult month of June leading up to this start, Nomar. He'd lost back-to-back games coming into this one, but he was fantastic.
He really was. And, we were talking about what the key was going into this game, and he touched on it. And there were some other things, too, that helped him. But he talked about getting first pitch strike. But we're going to go to the K-zone, and we're going to look back at some of the struggles he had earlier, last couple of games, but also the split finger didn't quite have the same bite as it did here in this game. Here's what we're talking about. You got 1-1, and here's that split finger that he's trying to get ahead in the hitter, and you can see it just didn't really have that same late break to it. Just kind of floated up there. Here's another split finger, 0-2, that usually you go to that put away, usually starts down and then darts, but these split fingers are going right over the heart of the plate, and that's where these teams are able to do damage when that split finger is just falling over there. It doesn't have the same bite. They're able to recognize it out of his hand. This is today. Here you are, 0-2. Now look at the difference in the split finger. It's just a late break going out there. It's not floating up there. The location is down, and you're getting the swing and miss. Even if they make contact, it allows you to get a nice double play to help yourself out as well. Just a different bite, but at the same time, if you look, as we're showing these split fingers, where is he? He's 0-2, getting ahead of guys. The difference right here, one up in the zone, big league hitters like when the ball is right there, as compared there on the left when he was getting the swing and miss. It was an incredible outing. It would have been nice to kind of see how it would have played out as he was going forward, because he was on today.
Yeah, he was on. I thought easily the way he was going without the rain, and maybe 7, possibly 8 strong innings. But I love the adjustments he's made. It's fascinating because it's a lot easier to throw that split finger in L.A. than it is at Coors Field. So for him to make that adjustment, that just shows he found something out, whether it's the way he gripped the ball or in his delivery, he was able to execute that pitch.
Picked up win number 7 on the season.
Well, Dave, it's clear if it wasn't for rain, Yoshi probably could have kept going. What were you seeing from him, and just how impressive was the stuff considering how effective he was using his pitch mix, especially here in Colorado?
I thought he was fantastic. This was a good one, and unfortunately we got cut short because of the rain. But I just thought the strike throwing was better. I thought Dalton's fingers were great. I thought he used the curveball the right way. His split was really good, and the fastball. So I thought Yoshi was exactly what we needed tonight.
We have not given Yamamoto much offensive support. What is it about? It's like there's one guy every year that is that guy.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have that answer. It's how things line up sometimes. It's unfortunate. He's been, pitching lights out for us, and it'd be nice to get him a game where he can just relax and, just go out there and throw strikes, and, hopefully we can do that for him sometime soon.
Different to you about what he was doing today compared to his last couple this month?
I think the weird thing was he was commanding a splitter, which is a pitch that is traditionally a little tough to throw in Colorado. He was commanding it. He wasn't throwing it out of the zone. He was getting a lot of chase on it, and to me that's always a good sign when he can command that pitch. So that's going to be his pitch, and so when he's able to throw it where he wants, that's always going to be a good sign.
I want to bring it back to Chase for just a second. Dollander and Yamamoto were inning for inning, toe-to-toe in terms of pitch count. How big was it for him to have such an efficient start like he did today?
It was huge for him. I mean, he was excited to go against the Dodgers, and he went out there and did what he was capable of doing against a very good pitcher in Yamamoto, who was also very good tonight. But yeah, Chase, he matched him. I thought he was very good.
Shafe, you mentioned Yamamoto for them. From your vantage point, and we'll ask a couple of the guys, what did he do so well tonight to limit you guys, I think, one hit? What did you see from him that was so effective?
Well, it seemed like he was getting ahead with his breaking ball, his curveball. He was staying out of the middle of the plate big time. And we were chasing down on that split late in the count. It seemed like he had it all working for him. He had good command. Again, he stayed out of the middle of the plate to limit the damage.